Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Newsflash, asshole! I've been hearing it the entire goddamn time!
Hello and welcome back to the West of Waterford podcast. Hey, there we are. Look at us. And you might notice a slight difference here. I'm Josh, by the way, sitting in front of the magnificent flag of the home country. And over there, the magnificent flag of her home country, there's Brittany.
Feeling very General Patton over here.
Yeah, you should see it from my side. That's how I'm seeing things.
True American Patton Oswald.
Oswald? Wait, Oswald? Ooh.
General Patton Oswald.
General Patton Oswald. Well, I was thinking the last, some people might consider a certain other Oswald. They might consider him a true patriot, considering that he operated a very successful hat removal service in Dealey Plaza, if you remember correctly, back in, I believe, 1963. Oswald?
Are you talking about the real Patton?
No, Oswald. I'm talking about Oswald.
Patton Oswald?
No, Lee Harvey Oswald.
Oh.
Come on.
We're getting so confused with names.
Wait. Why was Patton Oswald? Oh, he was the second gunman on the grassy knoll, was he?
No, I was just saying General Patton, and then for some reason when I thought Patton, I thought of Patton Oswald. You know, we just kind of fuck with names.
All right.
But it's like George Patton, think of the iconic movie called Patton based on a real guy saying... Never mind.
Which I've never seen.
I've never seen either, but you know that.
Yeah, but you said Oswald for some reason. I don't understand that.
Because of the General Patton, and then it made me think of Patton Oswald.
Okay, I can see how you can make that connection. But yes.
Sorry for being so confused.
No, not at all.
You weren't quite following my humor.
It led to a good joke about Lee Harvey.
Can you just imagine someone like Patton Oswald being like a great general of in our history, looking like
Patton? Oh, looking like that.
He
wouldn't
funny.
be. Well, I tell you one thing. He wouldn't be leading the charge in the battle for one thing. He'd probably stumble and do a pratfall and be like, "Ha ha!" That'd probably be it. He's useless. I don't know. Look, I see that guy on Twitter all the time, and I'm done with him. I don't even find him funny anymore. It's so fun. It's so weird.
You know, it's funny you say that because you say I'm done with him, and he doesn't even know you exist.
Well, this is true. This is true. He's honestly probably better off he doesn't know I exist, to be fair. But yes, the whole reason that we're kind of looking like this now and is literally because I got a little bit of feedback from a.
I was giving you a hard time about the camera angles from day one.
Yes,
please.
But I know, but
when you never listen to your partner.
When it comes from a professional, that's when it kind of now I got to make a change.
You don't need to.
I got married to you. Why am I going to make any changes now?
It didn't take a professional to point out that the CCTV angle of up in the corner of the room was horrendous.
The whole idea of that
at least I'm glad that I'm only my face, right? I don't have to worry about what my body's doing. And I don't have to wear pants either.
Well, you're not wearing pants, so neither am I. But who are you to tell me any different? No, the big thing about it was that I submit, I suppose, one of our last episodes to a radio producer who works on a show here. I'm not going to say which show here in Arizona.
Why not?
I don't want to name drop. I don't want to be like that kind of guy who's like, oh, I'm in the business now. I know. It up? Because I want to just explain what happened. He gave me a few tips, a few pointers, and I just wanted to know that's why the show looks different. And I'm just trying to take it on. I haven't got all the kinks worked out yet. It looks like somebody was messing around here because I see it's slightly off on your side there.
I'm sorry. I think I started shaking the table on accident.
Look, it's not a magic 8 ball.
What happened?
It's not
Well, fix it.
No, I can't fix it right now.
What's wrong with it?
It doesn't matter. It's
now
fine.
I'm worried.
Don't be worried. It's fine.
Well, fix it.
I can't fix it right now.
Why not? What's wrong with it?
I literally cannot fix it right now.
What's wrong with it?
Because I'll start moving you around like a lunatic. I'll fix it when we get to Brit's bits. It's very slight. You wouldn't even notice it unless I actually point it out to you.
What?
Look, it doesn't matter.
The camera angle?
No, it's not the camera angle. It doesn't matter. I will fix it in a few minutes. Okay. You're shaking the table. No, it's not a magic 8 ball. That's not how that works.
I don't understand.
Like an Etch-a-Sketch or something. But yeah, no, we're. So yeah, I do want to extend my thanks to that producer. If he ever sees this episode, you know who you are, sir, and you might see that we're trying to take it on. You know, because I mean, you read the document, not the document. But
you said it's a classified document.
Well, no, I mean,
and the name that we can't mention has been redacted from said document.
Look, I've been watching things about Channel Awesome all week, Nostalgia Critic, and I keep hearing the Channel Awesome document, and I'm like, now I'm just saying the document. But you read the message he sent us. Very nice email, very fair, positive, but also kind of like. This is kind of something you got to fix.
Oh, it's nice to be like looking at each other, though.
It is, yes. We actually are sitting directly across from each other.
Yeah.
Not that you can tell, but yeah. So I just want to.
I'm your Robin to your Howie Mandel.
They're ripping me off, Robin.
Did you just hear what I said?
In fact, they told me, Robin, look at her. She's white now. For some reason, she's white, even though people didn't know Robin Quivers was black for how many years? They're ripping me off, Robin. They're ripping me off.
I hate your Howard Stern.
Who gives a shit what you hate? And there's the first swear. That was a little more chunky than I'm used to. But yeah, so welcome back to the show, and hope you like the loon look. Now let's get into the actual business of the show with a very awkward segue. Britt and I have been.
Yeah?
All right. We've been watching. We've been rewatching Futurama as of late. Pretty much going on a rerun from season 1 up to, I think we're up to season 4 now.
We are in the beginning, almost half of season 4.
Yeah, and you had never really, the reason we're doing this is because you had never really given us an honest watch.
Well, let's think about it. Like, back in the day, how could you honestly know how many episodes you've seen? Because you would just kind of catch it when it was on.
Well, I owned the DVDs.
Now in the days of streaming, and you don't really have to. That's such a nice luxury when you think about that. That you don't have to like be like 7 o'clock all like Wednesday nights, new episode.
Oh yeah. I mean, everything's on demand now.
You know, on demand. Exactly.
It's an on-demand world. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean.
So I remember watching the first episode, and that like blew my like 10-year-old mind. I thought that was great, but I don't think I ever kept up with it because I think I probably did keep up with it for a few episodes, but I don't remember ever like sticking with it for seasons and seasons. And I realize it's because it's a more mature show than The Simpsons for sure.
Yes.
There's a lot of pop culture to it. Like I recognize a lot of the performers. I mean the actors.
A lot of hard science to it too.
Pop culture.
No, there's like mathematical science. Yeah, no, there's a lot of hard science actually.
Well, I think the Simpsons writers are. Am I thinking of someone else?
I
think some of the Simpsons.
You're not thinking of the Family Guy writers, that's for sure.
No, I think some of the Simpsons. I know that at least writers on the Simpsons, they put a lot of math. There's like actually quite a handful of math jokes inserted into there.
Yeah, there's a few.
Because there's some nerdy people on that writing staff.
Not quite to the.
Futurama does not have hard science.
No, I mean like in terms of the mathematical science behind a lot of things, there is a lot of hard mathematical science actually put into it.
I don't think anybody's
the jokes. I mean, for the makeup of the jokes, yeah. There is. I used to listen to the commentary tracks. Yes, they used to put. So a lot of what you're seeing in the background in any given episode, there's a lot of science, hard math jokes going on in the background that people actually have to decode. Like the alien languages actually spell things out, and they are based in mathematics.
Okay, but either way, that's not a reason why anybody would tune in. That was literally the writing staff, like making their own work.
But it's a big reason why the
themselves.
show is so rewatchable, especially to the nerdiest in society. Because you can always... You said to me one of the funniest jokes that you laughed at was quite literally a background song. What was it? Yoda's first bar mitzvah? Was that
episode
Star Wars?
9, Yoda's bat mitzvah.
Yeah.
Bar mitzvah?
Bat mitzvah. Whatever.
Bat
well,
mitzvah?
he's male, so bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
But getting back to the actual the pilot, Space Pilot 3000.
And I caught a Simpsons egg too. Easter egg.
It wasn't Bender.
Is that what it's called?
Easter egg, yeah, it'd be called an Easter egg.
It is called an Easter egg when you find a little. Okay, for some reason that like, I'm like,
you were thinking
I
you sounded
forgot that
stupid.
term. Yeah, I'm like, am I saying that term correctly? No, there was a Simpsons Easter egg in one of the episodes where they go to robot hell for the first time.
Oh yeah.
And so they start to go through the tunnel, and then you can see on the wall in a heart it said
Oh yeah,
HS and MB.
That's right. Yeah.
Aww.
Which was that's a great callback. I mean, to Marge and
Okay,
Homer's.
can I point out 2 jokes that the last 2 episodes I watched are 2 jokes made me a little like, ugh. Can I talk about that?
Well, I mean, I do want to talk about the actual pilot itself because you did say it blew your mind, and I have to say it might.
I just thought it was really epic. As a 10-year-old, it was like so epic.
Yeah,
the premise was like.
But even me watching back, I have to say it really is probably the greatest animated pilot of all time. Think of one better. No, do me a favor, because I know you roll your eyes at me when I say that, but think of
It is
one
a good
better.
pilot.
No, think of one that is actually better.
I can't say I have enough pilot episodes of animated series in my head enough to
Okay,
make a comparison, make a tier. I'm not gonna make a fucking tier list right now about it.
The Simpsons pilot episode, for comparison, was the episode about Christmas where they get Santa's little helper at the end. The Family Guy.
Would that be considered the full 30-minute episode
Yes,
premiere?
that would be the full 30-minute episode premiere.
I can't say I've necessarily gone back. I've definitely watched the pilot of Futurama more than probably any episode pilot. I feel like.
No. I mean,
Because it's actually a pilot episode to go back and watch.
What was the pilot episode of Bob's Burgers? Completely forgettable.
No, that's what I'm saying. What
I mean,
I'm
that whole
saying
entire
is-
show is
no.
forgettable right now. So I mean, and that other one.
Why are you bringing up Bob's Burgers?
True North. What's that other one? That pilot had to be one of the worst
Honey,
pilots
stay
I've ever watched.
focused.
I am staying focused,
You're
but
like
I'm
branching off.
yeah, but I'm saying that I'm just making the point that
True North is awful. That pilot. That's
Oh.
what usually pilot episodes are meant to be like. Pilot episodes often serve the purpose of like being like, all right, you fucked me in a little bit. But
Yeah.
like the pilot episode of Futurama is like standout, like masterclass.
that's standout masterclass.
Like it's actually a pilot you'll go back and watch because it's that good.
It is that good.
Whereas usually pilots don't need to meet that standard. Pilots aren't meant to really serve that purpose.
I mean, I think it had the
Pilots are usually like, all right, like I'll give this some more chances. There's enough that I'll go back and I'll continue to watch.
The great thing about it is that I think it is it had the advantage of it basically being an overarching story. I mean, you notice that it's a weird show for an animated TV show that it does have an overarching storyline. It has a continuity. Continuity is shaky, but I mean like in The Simpsons, like they're still like Homer's still 39 years old 30 years later. But like in Futurama, they do age with the time at the show. It's not the floating timeline. It's actually a moving timeline.
Yeah, yes, and no. I mean, it still has the it has some definitely like plot episodes that are like an overarching like plot, like finding out about Leela's like parents and where she came from.
Character journeys.
Yeah, but there's but it's like not necessarily, and maybe that's why I didn't watch that much. Maybe because it did somewhat require you to watch it in order a little bit. Yeah. But for the most part, it does, and it even does a meta joke about how Fry is talking about because they're doing that. They do. So there's so much parody. So they do the Ally McBeal parody ripoff where a
single female lawyer.
Yeah, so they call it something like, it's called...
McNeil, something McNeil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something McNeil.
Bring us McNeil.
Yeah.
Yes.
So...
Whoever he is.
So, like, Fry's able to save the day because he just knows, like...
Because he saw that
like,
episode.
Paint by number... No, because he
saw the first few seconds of that episode,
He knows, like, paint by number how to do a network show.
Yeah.
And he's like, see? And everything has to go back to normal after the episode ends. And, like, that is what... I mean...
It's very
Futurama does follow that. Like, in one episode, Leela... You never have to know that Leela at one point actually has 2 eyes. Like, she gets a cosmetic surgery done. And then by the end of the episode, she's like... She's all of a sudden, she's like, return me back to the way I was, you know? And so there are a lot of episodes where like, everything goes back to normal. But can I talk about the ham-fisted jokes? It's not as funny as The Simpsons. It does not make me laugh.
I think it's a more mature humor in some certain senses, and I think there are a lot of jokes that kind of do they miss their mark, and they're kind of like more of a kind of a. It's not.
It's not because they don't hit or land. It's just that. It's way and it weighs so much on like parody, and it's the parody stuff that falls flat for me, and the like pop culture stuff. And it doesn't like it's not like awful, but the heart of the show is really, and where it's actually funny and shines, is just like kind of like the world building. It is like the world building and definitely like the
characters.
It's the world. Well, yes,
the characters. The characters give us everything. The world is big and goofy in Futurama. It's not a world that.
But it's a world you like to explore. It's kind of like has that same vein as like they kind of took that strength from Futurama and learned that lesson from Futurama. Probably when Matt Groening, how do you say his last name?
Matt Groening.
Groening was doing Disenchantment. Like there's a lot of world building in Disenchantment. Like that makes it fun, and a lot of humor comes from the fact that of its setting. And that's the same thing with Futurama.
Disenchantment is much closer akin to Futurama than it would be The Simpsons.
Oh,
and I think anytime Matt Groening puts his name to a concept,
The Simpsons is just
The
a
Simpsons
family
the first
sitcom. It's a sitcom, whereas Futurama is more like a little, as actually like an adventure. You kind of like want to see where do these wacky characters go next, and what kind of mischief did they get in next.
But it's also like really emotionally. I mean, The Simpsons. If anything you could say about The Simpsons is it had real emotional heart. I'm not on the most. My camera's not on the most stable thing, and I do tend to shake my legs. So if the camera's shaking, right. It's because Yeah, but The Simpsons has an emotional heart to it, which is one of the staples of the show. That's why it became kind of crap after the 9th season. Say Family Guy as well. There's no emotional heart in those characters. Oh, they try so hard.
Family Guy?
Yeah.
I don't think they try.
No, they try so hard to for a message. They try to they give you something a character would never do.
I don't think it ever takes itself that seriously.
Homer Simpson say for the first
Family Guy does never take itself that seriously.
Listen to my hypothesis here. Homer Simpson for the first 8 or 9 seasons there was always an emotional story arc with Homer. He was a well-meaning buffoon, but he always did best by his family. And this has been said to death, of course. But you always understood anything Homer would do was completely within his character. He had a well-defined character. And then he became jerk-ass Homer in the later seasons.
That's a well-defined...
and then look at Peter Griffin.
Hypothesis.
Peter Griffin, on the other hand, is just jerk-ass Homer. But they try to give him some kind of level of humanity. No, they do. They have tried to make you feel bad about Peter, but you know it's not in his character, and that he's just, like you said earlier, everything has to go back the way it was. And they play around with that, but it doesn't get. And that's the thing about Family Guy's later episodes when they start to do things like trying to make a statement about race, or they're trying to make a statement about emotional abuse. And it's like, no, we don't buy it for a second, because this is not within. These characters are pure anarchy. They don't have any emotional depth to them. We can't feel bad for them. And then you get something like Futurama. You genuinely feel for Fry. You genuinely feel for Leela. You feel for Bender. I mean, and the thing was, like, last night we were watching the episode Godfellas from season 4, where Bender literally becomes like a god to the smaller little people who kind of crash, the little people.
Asteroid. He goes to like an asteroid film.
I think they're called shrimpins or something.
I don't remember.
But I mean, you could have expected, I mean, just
he literally meets God or some sort of celestial being.
Yes, but I mean, like, the whole thing about Bender is that you kind of, in some ways, you'd expect Bender to be like a mean and vengeful god, because he's such an ass most of the time. But when you see him truly by himself and his character has to carry it, you see that he's intending to do the best he can for these people.
Well, it's pretty established pretty early on that he's just more of like kind of like a rascal. Because I mean, like his relationships with people, he does actually care about people that are around him, and he actually does care about his friendship with Fry, and that's established very early on.
Yeah.
And he, for being a robot, he's bombastic, but he has like a caring side to him as far as like, I mean, he's emotional. Like he has like little like emotional outbursts.
The robot actually has emotions and like an identity crisis. He wants to be like, a country singer. He needs the meaning for life.
For example, talking about things going back to normal, for example, they do some, I actually do love the episodes that they do. I don't know what time of I think it wasn't until like the third season they started doing like, they're like the tall tales kind of a thing. What was it called?
Oh,
What if?
the what if machine, yeah, with the finger pointing, or the finger,
there's another episode like in a season or two after that where they do where they do three sections of like where they ask the machine like what if blah 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 blah, and like that's when they do fun stuff like they do a lot of experimentation.
Bender is
like
human.
Bender wants to be human, yeah.
Leela was more impulsive and she just ends up killing everybody.
Oh yeah,
which is one of the funniest things ever committed to animation. No, I mean, Futurama, and we're going to move away from Futurama here very quickly. We're not actually going to get to talk about what kind of prompted this on, because we went to watch Back to the Future.
Can I talk about the two jokes that failed, though?
I can, but can we first talk about possibly? Oh no, I'll leave your jokes here, failure jokes for the end, because you know what doesn't fail? Come on. I know I say greatest, but one of the best side characters of all time, Zap Brannigan.
I know you love Zap.
I personally doesn't love Zap Brannigan, and you even feel for him.
I never feel
and that's
for
the thing.
Zap.
That's coming back with all these characters. No, when you first like, oh my god, you want the rest of the champagne? No thanks. And it's pronounced champagne. Oh god! And you were like, you actually went, oh poor Zap.
That is not what happened.
You know you're a very sexy lady, Brittany.
Why do you exaggerate?
Come in here, bedeck me in velour, and we will go after this Brittany girl's heart.
What was that one channel we were watching where they were breaking down his character? That was actually pretty good, and they mentioned that first scene. But they mentioned that scene in particular.
He is one of the greatest side characters.
Zap.
How could you not like Zap?
Because it's such a one-dimensional parody of like take Captain Kirk and then like just pump him up like to like this level of like just absurdity, and that's what that character is. It's fine. I like it.
You have a character like Kif.
It definitely has room for a character like that in the show.
Then you have a character like Kif, who Kif is actually another emotional heart in the show, and Kif is like Spock. If Spock was just completely dejected, Captain, no, he's just brilliant. Between the two of them is brilliant.
The thing about Futurama though is that it's always gonna have more. It's gonna be more nostalgic than timeless. Because why in the year 3000 are they only obsessed with big celebrities of the 90s?
Oh well, look, who's to explain what that world is really like? I mean, come on, you're not there.
That's what makes it more nostalgic and more in an actual time capsule within itself.
The stories are timeless.
But if you're gonna say something that's gonna be a little bit more timeless, as far as like a sci-fi comedy animation, that's gonna be Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty is brilliant.
And that's the only part about Futurama that I feel is weak it's weak because like it might have been great at the time of shot, but it definitely aged itself by doing so much celebrity stuff.
But I think the joke is on that they are so irrelevant that they are even going to be more irrelevant with further watching. They are so
irrelevant. They were very relevant at the time that it was.
Why are they so? Why are they so? There is no real. It's Fry's perspective because he is from the 90s. 1999 he left. So he still has that hang up on those celebrities. So that's relevant to him. Whereas the others they're kind of irrelevant. The others are more interested with like what's going on, you know. And it's also a bit of a joke, I think, as well.
Funny
There's also a joke. I'm not rationalizing this weird.
You're so funny because
all right.
You literally think that our conversation has to be like opposing viewpoints, and like you're never agreeable with me.
No, it's not that. I just don't agree with your assessment of that. That's all.
No, you always somebody like watch all of our episodes, and you'll see that you never agree with what I have to say. There's something funny about.
Would it be more interesting? Would it be more interesting?
That sounds like you're not listening.
Would it be more? No. Would it be more interesting if we just agreed with each other all the time? Would that be more interesting?
I mean, there's points where you have to kind of be like, yeah, that is kind of. I don't know. Never mind.
No, I mean, I can come to compromise on certain things, but I mean, like, I don't think the show is aged poorly.
I didn't say it aged poorly, but I'm just saying that's a funny aspect of it. That I didn't say it aged poorly. I said it's more nostalgic than timeless because of how much celebrity like parodies and pop culture stuff it does, and it's all isolated in like the what was going on at the time that it was out. So it's
To a
always
degree,
like you look
to a
back
degree.
at it and it's like,
I think to a degree you might be right.
I'm not,
but I don't think the show.
An opinion.
But,
I'm literally not even stating an opinion. I'm like literally stating a fact. Like
No.
that's a literal fact.
you're saying the show is more nostalgia level
I'm just
and hasn't
saying-
aged
but the fact-
itself. It's aged itself. That's
The
what you were saying.
fact is that, of course, because they do. Okay, fact number one, they do a lot of celebrity stuff and pop culture things.
But I will counter.
Two,
I will counter.
It was in the 90s and the early 2000s, so therefore the only celebrity you're seeing is the celebrity that was relevant at that time.
To an extent.
With exception of like historical
Who's the
figures.
biggest? Who is technically the biggest
But I
celebrity
mean, they
in the
have a
show?
whole episode around Lucy Liu
Who's
and
one of the biggest? Yeah, because Fry was in love with Lucy Liu in the 90s, so it's relevant. Who's the biggest celebrity character in? Who gets the most screen time? Who's the biggest celebrity character in Futurama?
the biggest celebrity character.
Yeah. Calculon, come on. And he's been around.
Well, that's the only time they do like a modern celebrity that they've created in their own world.
Yeah, to an extent, yeah. He's probably he's definitely the
can we
most
move
he's the
on?
most notable. He's the
Because
most
this
notable.
just sounds so stupidly over nerdy, like to the point where it doesn't need to be.
Well, you know
'Cause
what?
the
I don't
whole
nerd
point
out
of this
about things very often. I'm just enjoying watching the show.
We kind of talked about what we wanted to open with, and the whole point of this conversation was supposed to lead into the fact of like what things we weren't allowed to watch when we were kids.
Well, this is
and
true.
what our parents like.
I mean, look, we can go a little longer with it. I don't mind running this episode up a little over time, but I mean, yeah, I wasn't allowed to watch Futurama when I was a kid.
Why? Can you pinpoint which episode it was? Was it the?
It was the garbage ball over New York one where it was like, wow, back in my day, the internet was only used for porn. It still is. I was like, now that your garbage ball is gone, maybe you could help me with my sexual deficiencies with gusto. My mother saw that joke and said, all right, turn this trash
No,
off.
wasn't there like some like girls like I mean that's
She takes her lab coat off and like her big fucking tits.
Well, that's the thing about the show is I think that it had a lot more it was
Mature humor.
No, not mature. It was way more hornier than anything you would have watched at that age. That
Which
you
would
should be
technically be
watching at that-
mature, I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's certainly a horny show. There's no doubt. It's written by a bunch of nerds. Look at
Yeah.
Leela's design. But yeah, no, my mother...
Her big boots.
Her big fucking boots. No, I mean, yeah, my mother didn't let us watch that, which was a weird thing because, I mean, we grew up watching The Simpsons, which was a mature show.
Simpsons.
We were allowed to watch Family Guy, but we weren't really allowed to watch Futurama. If we were caught watching it, it would be like, turn that off. And it was actually, my dad sat down and watched an episode with us, and he was laughing. And I can pinpoint the moment. It was the Poplars episode when it's like animals eat each other all the time. That's not true. We taught this line to eat tofu, and they just showed the most emaciated line.
Yeah.
ever. And he was like, it was just my dad cracked up laughing at that and said, "You can watch this." And he said to my mom, like, "Look, it's a little mature, but it's no worse than anything they've ever watched." And after that, like, my mom was like, "Okay, that's fine."
I wasn't really restricted because, you know, I did grow up in a religious household.
Yes.
And we were kind of taught standards. And, but I was
standards. Do you want to
we were
rephrase
taught
that?
certain standards of like what was appropriate to watch, especially when you were that young.
Not to be on Pornhub past 9 o'clock. It's like,
That didn't exist when I
yeah,
was
thanks, Mom.
at the age that we were talking about.
I know. But I did throw in the
but-
watershed there. 9 o'clock. Go on. Sorry.
But and I don't know, I just had like kind of like a built-in like safety or like a kind of a built-in firewall to like knowing what I should and shouldn't watch.
Mm-hmm.
So Futurama definitely wasn't one of those. The Simpsons, my mom sometimes wasn't like 100% happy with it because she needed to swear a little bit, and we're raised not to, you know, profanity, but that was the stupid thing because they couldn't be. It's too hypocritical because my parents curse too much to be that enforcing it. So The Simpsons was on the table, but like I on my own, like on my own, what's the word I'm looking for?
Volition?
Yeah, volition, that's the word I was looking for.
Okay.
Is that I didn't watch South Park, and I didn't watch Futurama. I didn't watch Family Guy until I was probably like a teenager, like 15.
You know, some people could say that you'd nearly be
16.
done. You could go your life without seeing Family Guy, and your world would not be changed. It's
But,
good
like,
for a cheap laugh every now and then.
And like South Park, I honestly only honestly went back and watched South Park like in my like mid to like later half of my 20s.
You're missing out with South Park.
I don't know, like I it's all right for me. It's all right for me. I respect it. I understand the genius of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, like I just had that built-in kind of thing of like knowing when I was watching something that I'm like, I shouldn't be watching this.
We were never told.
And I would shut it off on my own, but I didn't need parenting or policing over it.
Huh.
And so they actually didn't have a lot of restrictions growing up. The only restriction I ever had.
The Berenstain Bears.
No.
No. Okay.
The only restriction I ever had was when I was in kindergarten. My mom sat down and told me.
That far back?
Yeah. My mom sat down and told me that I could no longer watch Power Rangers.
Oh, Power Rangers.
Because
Why?
around that time, it was in the news.
Yes, you Power Rangers!
I loved it. I really loved it. It
I
was a
hated it
huge
growing
thing.
up.
It was a huge thing when I was in kindergarten, and we're the same age. So like,
Yeah.
But I mean, we grew up in Ireland.
I hate it.
grew up in America. As you can see.
Ew.
But
Gross.
but it's because it was, and this was at a time, you know, you're thinking like, what year would have this been? Like 94?
94, 95 is when it was really big, I think.
And no, at the age I was told, like when I was in kindergarten, I would be like 94, 95. My mom said I couldn't watch it because of in the news there was a story about a little girl who was killed by two boys a little bit older than her that were like playing Power Rangers, and they killed her.
How?
They were like it was said that they were playing pretend, they were playing Power Rangers, and they threw rocks at her. And like,
when did the Power Rangers ever throw rocks?
I don't know.
Mighty Morphin Power
But then
Rangers!
became a whole thing, and like literally mid-90s was still all the mid-90s. Okay, the 80s was all about music making your kids bad, and then the 90s was all about like video games and violent media,
That
like
just
TV and
troubled
movies.
me.
So I mean, and I feel like if I really look back at it now, from what I can remember, I was really, really upset about it. But I remember my mom like not even being like 100% confident when she was telling me. She was like she was like breaking bad news to me. She was like, you can't watch this anymore because and I didn't. I mean, obviously it's such a little kid show that I would have eventually outgrown it, but you know, come time when the 2017 film came out, I didn't give a shit because I had to stop watching it at the height of when I loved it.
Oh.
It was a difficult time. I never cried so hard. It was my first like heartbreak experience, and told to not indulge in something that I loved
Oh.
truly and deeply.
It really did hurt you, didn't
It
it?
defined me as a person. It was a defining moment in my life. It was influential.
Never again.
It was shaping me. I mean, I could have been on a totally different path had I still been allowed to watch Power Rangers.
Alas, my Rangers mighty of morphine. My
I would have become a
morphinated.
morphine addict.
My caffeinated Rangers. Alas, I can no longer watch thee kick the ass of whoever the hell that is, you know. What was that character?
Curse you, Power Rangers!
All I know is that
Ugh.
looking back at it, like the black Power Ranger that was introduced later was black, and the yellow Power Ranger was Asian.
And the red one was just like, oh god, Native American red one.
No, but that would have been horrible. And the blue one was
Big villain over there. Let's go get him.
what would have the blue one
They
been?
were a diverse group, and the
What-
white one was just hated.
What would the blue one been like a Kenyan? Like
the
not an
Virgin.
African American.
The Virgin, blue balls.
Oh.
The Virgin, blue
I was
balls.
still thinking of color of the skin because wait, don't the Irish people have a term for black people that like literally meant blue because they were so black?
No.
Yes, they do.
They
You
probably
told
do.
me this.
Yeah, Anfar Dove is what we call a black person because that means the black man, which is also a name for the Anfar Gurm. Anfar Gurm would also be one. Because there were certain there are certain black people who, especially when they come straight from Africa to Ireland.
Oh no, you
Their skin goes blue.
You don't need to explain. Like,
I'm not talking about the Blue Man group here, but I mean we
no,
there's
we all
Anfar
know
Gurm.
there
I think it was Gurm. My
there
Irish
are
is not
some
good.
like Africans who are like truly black that they actually reflect blue, like blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and also.
But I just think that's funny because it's like very, when I was young, I hated that. I was like, because like I was, you're learning your colors, so I'm like, that person's not black, they're brown. That's what I said when I was a kid. I was like, that's not black. They have black hair, maybe. But
You weren't talking about your gardeners, were you? Hey, we know we are brown, señorita.
I am Pullman.
I am Pullman. I have come with a big net to fish things out of your pool.
We'll talk about more racial sensitive things later in the show.
Right, that sounds great. Anyway, we are going to move on to the bits.
What would the Pink Ranger have been?
Huh?
What would the Pink Ranger have been? Probably just a pasty white person
giant
who burns
pussy.
in the sun. I mean, you're
Giant
going to go in that direction.
Pussy. Yeah. She fight. Oh no! Here comes my arch enemy, Clitoris, and it's just a gigantic Clitosaurus Rex or something. Clitosaurus Rex.
Oh god.
Yes. Actually, Clitosaurus Sex. That's the name of the villain. That would make a
There
good.
is-
I want a Power Rangers.
There's a Power Ranger. There's got to be plenty of Power Ranger porn out
Yeah,
there.
Power Top and Power Bottom Rangers. There you go. There's an idea, Internet. You go run with that. We are going to move on to the next part of the show. This is where Brittany gets to speak her piece as if, she hasn't been speaking enough already. But
oh, you hate when I talk.
not really, no.
To the show?
No,
Okay.
we've been talking a lot, though, in fairness. But here we go. This is, of course, Brit's Bits.
Oh, boy.
Brittany, do your bit.
Hello. This is the potpourri part of the program where I get to talk about whatever the hell I want. Well, we talked a little bit about nostalgia. We talked a little bit about the early 2000s, and I want to kind of bring our attention and focus on a little reality show that I believe is still going to this day.
Ew.
We're talking about ANTM. That's hard to say out loud.
Why would you acronym?
America's Next Top Model. So I used to watch the show when I was younger. Did you ever watch the show growing up?
I watched this show because an ex-girlfriend of mine made me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I can just
So you
and
must
I
have
can
been
say that, and I
older.
can say this without any hint of irony or sarcasm.
Did you guys-
I hate Tyra Banks. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Okay. So you only watched it because of ex-girlfriend. So you must have been older. You must have been like, because like when it came out, we would have been like
19. I want to say I was around 19.
19 when you first saw an episode.
Probably around there,
So it
considering it
would
was the
have been
girlfriend I'm
like-
thinking of. Who thought she was a model, by
It
the
would
way.
have been like
She was a model
2000
fucking idiot.
A model citizen. No, she would have been like. So that would have been like what, like 2009?
Yes. I'll say
No.
I'll say
Yeah,
that
yeah.
she was from the mighty county of Cork, and she gave the entire county a bad name. So that's all
I mean,
say
there are
about her.
other versions of America's Next Top Model. I would love to see Ireland's Next Top Model.
They
There'd
have
not be
that. It's
enough-
called the Puck
No,
Fair.
because they have Australian, they have Asian, I guess too.
Nobody gets that joke. That's why I'm not applauding myself. The Puck Fair. But yeah, no, I didn't. Sorry, I don't take to shows about modeling. Even though the girls are kind of pretty to watch at times, but then you see them like that for a while, and you're like, ugh, ooh, she's not even attractive.
Okay.
She's just not attractive.
I'll give you my reason for why,
Tyra.
looking back on it, why I watched the show.
Yeah.
So, it was obviously the time before streaming, so I think I would just watch a lot of reruns. I can't remember which channel, play a lot of reruns of it or marathons of it.
Oh, probably the Learning
But
Channel or TLC. Probably.
Yeah, and or TBS or things like that.
The Bowel Syndrome.
But I remember the show well enough, and I remember watching it. And I'm not sure how many cycles I followed, probably like 3 or 4, and I can't tell you which order.
Cycles is what they call seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
And I was
weird.
I was talking about like, why do they call them cycles, you think? And it's probably because of just how much like you turn people out in the fashion industry. Like, all right, here's the next crew of girls, or who's ever on top of things.
Here comes the next clutch.
Or it could be because everybody gets really bitchy and catty because all their cycles link up at some point in the episode. That's another reason to tune in. Anyway, no, I was really interested. Would have been probably like around 2004, 2005. I was really interested in photography.
Yeah.
So I actually enjoyed watching just for like the photo shoot aspect, and I also enjoyed fashion, and like, so I remember enjoying that aspect of it, and really only that. And I actually remember taking the show like pretty seriously, and like treating it as like a little behind the scenes kind of view of the industry. And not that I cared so much about the industry, but like I said, it was all my focus was like the art and photography behind it. But it's interesting going back because, I mean, obviously by today's standards, you look back at some of those early cycles, and now it's America's Next Top Model has a totally new, different fame to it, and that's just being problematic. You know, like there's problematic moments where like, ooh, wow, like that's just really messed up. Like that's evil. And so going back and watching this show in a different lens of like more so being critical of the production itself, Tyra, and being critical of just being more critical of the production itself.
Can we be critical of her hairline? It's so high.
I mean, but that's her thing. She doesn't shy away from talking about that.
She doesn't shy away from anything. She doesn't shut up. Oh, she annoys me.
No, it's funny because you sat down at one point and you're like, I'd more so fuck so and so over so and so, and I'm like, that's not what the show's about. And you're like, is it not what it's about? And I'm kind of like, I guess that might be the only reason why a straight man would watch it.
No, there's no reason for a straight guy to watch that show unless you're like basically like a fox in a hen house. Like, I'll have her, I won't have her.
So it's been interesting looking back at it in a different critical lens where you're not criticizing the girls. You're just actually looking at this lens. The lens is different. It's like looking at it's like, oh my gosh, you said that to her? Or like, you're criticizing the judging panel. You're judging the judging panel.
How dare you?
You're judging the way shows run and the way that they run these girls ragged. So it's like, because like they want to at least have one girl like pass out or faint like every cycle. You know, like they want that to happen.
Mm-hmm. We gonna get you girls passing out.
Okay.
That's my Tyra Banks, and it's terrible.
All right. Tyra Banks being ghetto about it.
I have a feeling she has a very ghetto side to her. There's no way somebody could be that.
All right. Well, I want
snipsy.
you to.
You do have some videos
I
here.
think this is a great definition because yes, it's
So
more.
how do I get to this quickly on a technical note?
Oh,
what do
go
I do
to
here?
My profile.
All right.
Sorry.
No, you're okay. Anonymous.
Go
Here
to
it is.
the ANTM
There it is.
clips, but you want to hit pause right away.
All right.
Unless I say wait for 1 second, because it will continue to play the clips.
Well, I'll get it. Don't worry.
So this is a great thing because I'm also looking back at the episode with that's perfect. With the view of like, this isn't really America's Next Top Model. This is like a mentorship of Tyra Banks. So it's really more about America's Next Top Tyra. And like you realize how much focus is on Tyra Banks herself. And how she's not actually a host or a judge. It's like she is like, the show is centered around her and putting her in the spotlight and giving her a pedestal to stand on, giving her all the attention at the end of the day. And that's what makes it really interesting, this whole project. Anyway, so I think this sums it up great. I want you to play the first clip here.
All right.
This is why I got back into watching America's Next Top Model recently, because all seasons are on Hulu. Most seasons are on Hulu.
Most
right
seasons are on Hulu. So I can just play
now. Yeah, hit
this.
play now. Play the next
I got to
clip.
transition it, you see, because here's a nice thing, folks. You're going to be able to see this video with us.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, look at that. So we're going to transition. Yeah.
This is great. I think this is
All right.
I think this wraps up
All right.
the Tyra centricness of America's Next Top Model.
If it'll play, that'd be great. If you could play right now, that'd be great. I don't know what's happening there.
I don't either.
That's odd. Did you maybe? I don't know. Let me see if I can work this out. But
Come on. I took a lot of time to find these clips.
maybe
and
it's
get
just
them
not playing because it's in this mode. Let's go back to the default player. I'll just hit play
Yeah,
for the
there you
first
go.
one. All right, let's
There you
try
go.
that. And nothing.
What the hell?
And nothing.
Josh, come on.
Serious.
We
No.
gotta figure this out. This is bullshit.
Watch full video. Why is none of this working?
Okay, just
Okay.
reopen the page or refresh the page.
All right. This is kind
I
of
had it playing perfectly before. Okay, while you're figuring this out, I'm gonna go use the restroom.
no. You can't literally leave.
I can't live.
No.
I literally can't leave.
Let's see here.
Okay, go. What the fuck?
Wow. What's going on? It's not like no. Now, before you say anything, I did not sabotage this. Let me see if I can do it elsewhere. 1 second. I have a dangerous and cunning plan, sir. Let's see. Paste and go. Let's see if we can do this.
I'll just kind of talk while we're trying to get it to work. Okay, see if it puts play and then I'll. What the fuck? I'm so fucking pissed right now.
Oh.
Like genuinely pissed.
Well, that's an unfortunate moment. Let me see.
I don't understand.
Did it not?
Go back in Chrome. Use this in Chrome. Don't do it in Microsoft Edge or whatever the fuck it's called.
Well, I mean, Chrome wasn't working either. I mean, what can you do?
What the fuck?
This is unfortunate. Oh, we got life. Hang on. How slow is Vibi? Oh, boy. Oh, look at this.
Almost like it's like Tyra Banks.
All right. Okay. So, folks, wait till you see this guy. Hang on a second. We got it.
You're mean. Okay, it's working. I don't know what the fuck that was all
I
about.
mean, let's transition over. He's clearly... No, I'm not going to make that joke. All right, let's go.
Almost like it's like Tyra Banks' version of Willy Wonka taking people on a tour of the chocolate factory looking for her own replacement, but it feels like way more of a fever dream.
What?
What do you mean?
It's like a magical trip through like the chocolate streams, except it's horrifying. Why would you put like a happy image in somebody's mind, only to say it's like that, but the complete opposite? That
Josh, you and I do not share the same sense of humor, and so the fact that you're criticizing something that I said I actually really admire that guy in the series he's doing right now.
you do?
Yes.
Oh, you admire his series.
And I admire his sense of humor because that's fun. How do you not think that's funny?
All right, let me give me
Because that's Willy Wonka is a fever dream, and so for him to say, but
this
it's
is
more
actually
of
actually a very good point.
But to say, and then to go on to say, but it's more of a fever dream, is showing how absurd America's Next Top Model
I was
can
thinking
be.
a little obtusely, shall we say? I was just thinking
Yeah,
a little obtusely.
you don't listen. You just only try and grab on the things and criticize things. You don't actually. You didn't take that for the face value. That
How
of what
dare
it
you
was.
say that to me?
You
I
need to
don't listen. What did you
listen.
say? I don't know.
You needed to actually listen to that. Like you're always just trying to be
All
mean-spirited
right.
about shit.
Well, of course I'm trying to
That
be
was not a
mean-spirited about things.
mean-spirited moment. I was literally telling you.
Oh.
This sums it up perfectly.
Okay, let's give this fella another go, shall we?
God
Let me actually maybe listen this time.
damn.
You shut up. Thank you. And let's get him going again. And here he is.
Almost like it's like Tyra Banks' version of Willy Wonka taking people on a tour of the chocolate factory looking for her own replacement, but it feels like way more of a fever dream.
So
Oh,
okay, pause
sorry.
it. So
Let me get that out of there. It's okay.
You suck at this.
Sound is gone.
So he's like,
excuse me, what do you mean I suck at this?
Okay,
I put this all together.
So I put this together. So anyway, so here's the first 2 seasons. The first season I'm gonna kind of skip over. There's nothing really remarkable to highlight from it. I'm kind of like, I finished cycle 1 and cycle 2. I binged those in about 3 or 4 days.
All right.
And then I'm like some way into cycle 3 and gotten kind of burned out. And plus that's just too much going on in my brain to have to remember that much. Cycle 1, believe it or not, I don't have any highlights from that because it was actually in comparison to where the series goes, it's grounded. Like it's almost documentary and more behind the scenes in comparison to where America's Next Top Model is known for. Like, so cycle 1, like I said, is grounded. Like it actually isn't that absurd or ridiculous or has those stupid reality TV moments just for shock.
Yeah.
Like it gives you way more of a behind the field kind of sense. And one of the biggest things was like, well, I'll kind of get into it later, but the runway coach, Jay Alexander, this is before he becomes Miss J. He doesn't get a sex change or anything, but it's before he becomes the infamous Miss J.
Okay.
And he's way less flamboyant. He's like way more serious. Like it actually looks like doesn't care that he's in front of a camera.
Oh, they told him to J it up a little, did they?
But then later on, as seasons progress, he becomes like just like, girl, you look like you were walking like you're on crack or something. Like, and he just like gets all like, he gets very flamboyant and
so
very big personality. But in the very beginning, he's like, all right, ladies, so what we're gonna do today is we're going, and it's like, and I'm like, this isn't the Jay Alexander.
What is this, a funeral? Throw some pies or something.
I'm like, this, the fuck are you doing? Anyway, I'm like, this is not the Jay Alexander I remember. Anyway, so moving on. One of the biggest indications, though, of how like Tyra-centric it really is and how like it's really about her is that I noticed that even from cycle 1, that whenever a professional in the industry, take a photographer or a designer, introduces themselves, and they kind of go through their credentials and their resumes, like and they kind of go on like I've worked with models like, what's the first name they say? Tyra. I've worked with celebrities like, what's the first name they say? Tyra. So every time they and there's like moments, I think it's in cycle 2, it's like you know, Tyra, and it isn't until like cycle 3 though that like the real like worshiping begins, like where like literally the girls like lose their mind every time they see Tyra walk into a room.
Ugh.
Like, and to the point where you know that they're being told to do that. They're like, oh my gosh. And like in cycle 3, it's like you got girls being like, oh, like just being like, oh my gosh, like when she walked in, like it didn't seem real, like she was so beautiful, like I think she was like a hologram or something.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tyra Banks. Here she comes down the runway. My God, look at those beautiful hooves.
I don't know what you're doing.
Oh, I'm playing with the wrong. Oops. Oopsie daisies.
Can you stop?
No,
Thanks.
yeah, I've stopped it.
But yeah, they're like, pinch me, this isn't real, and they're like, every time they see her, like fucking like a Beatles concert. That's like what her reaction is every time they see her. But the first 2 cycles don't really do that, because that gets so obnoxious. But anyway, so cycle 2 kind of has its meltdown moments. Oh, cycle 2 though.
All right, Joan Rivers.
Cycle 2 is where you gotta see this next thing here. Is the first problematic.
All right.
Doesn't age so well. Like, ooh, what were they thinking? Episode or moment, and that's in cycle 2, and that's the next clip that we have here.
All right, let's play that clip once this goes.
Grace Jones. Can we have a close up?
You look like a Nubian space goddess.
I gave it to you because I knew that you could handle it.
Grace would be proud.
I wasn't happy with Samara on set when she found out that she was going to be Grace Jones. I feel like, ethnic women never want to be darker.
Wait, what?
Never. Thousands of girls want to be here, and you're tripping up that we're going to be Grace Jones? Grace is like a fashion icon, gorgeous, beautiful black woman, And I was just a little insulted by that. Tamara.
Okay.
All right.
So 2 things there.
Okay.
I couldn't.
Hold on, sorry.
Whoa,
sorry,
hold on! Stop!
It auto plays,
I know.
Brittany.
You gotta relax.
Hang on. And
Oh my god!
it wouldn't stop. Relax.
All right. Freaking me out here. This sucks ass.
I'm sorry, Vibi's not exactly the best. Is there a way to turn off the autoplayer?
I don't know.
I'll look around first.
Normally, if like now that it's on that, you should just be able to clip. Whatever. Don't worry about it.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. But so the Grace Jones look.
Okay, stop. Okay, so 2 things there, right?
Yes.
You saw what that girl looked like in front of them, the judging panel, and you saw what her photo looked like, right? What was it? What could you see?
Well, I could see a lot of legs spread. Number 1. Look, I'm just talking from the male mind here, right? I saw a very distinct V section, and I couldn't really see much else in terms of that. I was thinking to myself, kind of does look like a Grace Jones look, but I am looking at the spread legs. Now, what else? Now, what should I have seen? Is my question to you.
Okay.
And I'll go back.
The primary thing is that's the wrong clip. That's the wrong clip.
You're
That's
right.
The wrong
That is
clip.
the wrong clip. Sorry. But let's see if I can scrub this and pull it up. All right, here's the image.
There's the image.
Okay, so I saw the image.
Okay.
All right.
I'm just gonna say it. It's not supposed to be that. It's supposed to be pretty fucking obvious. Okay, show the girl. God, this is irritating.
All right. I mean, this is irritating.
I wish I had my own monitor here.
So I have the. You need a second computer.
Do you see a difference in what they look like? And Tyra just talked about it.
Wait. Okay, hold on.
Don't draw this out. Okay.
Hold on. Let's you can say it into the mic if you want, but let's hold on. Let's get the image here in case somebody else missed it. No, because this is now what people are seeing, Brittany. Do you understand I'm working this thing? So stop. Okay. Oh boy. Yeah, little bit of a tonal difference, I guess you could say. And by a little bit, I mean holy
the print around.
shit.
Well, you see the girl in front of her, the print around out of the ink or something.
Ink?
No.
They took her back with a spray paint can.
No, I'm just saying in comparison, it looks like the print around of ink that printed that girl that you see standing before you.
Oh God.
So I couldn't actually find the clip on YouTube. We'd have to have gone back into the Hulu episode. But they airbrush and paint her up.
Clearly.
In blackface. They do her legs, they do her whatever skin's exposed. Stop going into the other clips!
Would you stop noticing? I have to queue up the other stuff. Stop looking at it and paying attention to it.
Okay.
God almighty.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. They did blackface on a black girl. Let's move on because that took way too long.
How does that work, by the way? How does blackface on a black girl work? Is it racist?
Yeah. And that's the thing. Okay, like, yeah, it's a little bit of and this is 2004 that we're talking about. It's still a touchy thing to do. And then like,
still a touchy thing.
And that's the thing is that model, that was the only thing she was like, she's like, well, for one thing, she's like 20,000 shades darker than me. She even says that. And so like, and then she gets her confidence. But the whole thing was like a setup, and I think the whole thing was like a produced set.
Yeah.
Because I think Tyra wanted to like make that statement at some point in the cycle. Ugh. So what I mean? So like I think they used that only for Tyra to be able to deliver that message of like, you know, girls in this industry, like they don't have respect for like darker girls, like black girls don't want to be darker, period. So you heard her say that, and so like. And so, well, anyway,
look at Beyonce. She's lightened her skin.
There's been, anyway, but here's the thing.
Tyra's lighter. She's a lighter skinned girl.
Yeah, but that's because I think she's mixed race.
What would the last name like Banks, I suppose.
But no, like, but do you know what I'm trying to say? Like now I'm trying to look at through the lens of the production view of things, and like and trying to crack through the reality of it.
Yeah.
So the real thing is like that was just to give her Grace Jones. The thing it wasn't probably as shocking when it happened, because I think there's later seasons where they literally do like girls as different ethnicities. Like they do blackface on like white girls, and they like make white girls like Asian or black, and like they do like, you're gonna be like Asian in this photo shoot. Anyway, so this is this is the first and what I wanted to say is that as a milestone, this is the first problematic area, and I think the whole reason why it was even conjured up was because Tyra wanted to make that little speech right there.
It's almost
she's like, I was disappointed in how she reacted because this means that blah 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 blah.
It's almost as bad as getting an Anglo-Saxon white guy to play a Mexican gangbanger in a movie we saw recently. Adverse.
Oh yeah. Anyway,
hey man, you stole my car, eh? And it's like, no, stop this right now.
Okay, that would require somebody to have watched the episode a couple episodes back.
They did, and.
All right, so
talk down your own podcast, don't you? That's great. That's
I didn't
wonderful.
talk it down. I'm just saying I'm trying to move through this somewhat smoothly. All right, because my whole
first show doing this. Give me a break.
My whole case study is how this is America's Next Top Tyra. That's my whole like thread that I'm trying to tie through.
Yes.
Of how narcissistic it is.
Oh, yeah, so far.
So the second cycle shows us that problematic moment. And then it also, Tyra, I don't know if you knew this, but in 2004, she launched her music career.
Wait.
So she drops a single, Shake Your Body, play the clip.
Oh my God, no.
Oh, you don't want to let it hit the bridge? Let it hit the bridge. Let's scroll it.
I'll let it hit the bridge after I say this. I really want Tyra Banks to hit a bridge or hit a bridge or possibly drive off of one. I hate this. Oh, it is so generic.
Wait, let her do her Mariah Carey moment.
Right, hang on.
Was that the end?
No, that's the end of that one. I gotta whip off the sound there for a second.
Okay.
And make sure. Don't worry, the sound's not.
Next clip.
It's all right. The sound's not playing.
All right. So.
Hey, is that my girl? No, I remember seeing something to do with this girl.
She won cycle 2, the girl with the black hair. Anyway, so I think this is an interesting part. So the next clip I do have, I'll talk about a little bit more. The thing that makes that so ridiculous, and I remember seeing this like when it was out and thinking, and like I took it seriously, like, oh, cool. Because like at the end of the episode, they were like, oh, here's my other problem with cycle 2. There were like 3 episodes like back to back to back where they like actually didn't do like a real photo shoot. They did like dumb acting classes. They did a couple of like commercial type of things, and then they filmed this music video, and that was part of their judging for that week. There was no actual photo shoot, and like I said, that is the reason why I watched the show in the first place when I was young. So it's ridiculous. Like they had the gay tricks thing. You saw a little bit of that Matrix where they're like up in high wire.
Oh yeah.
So they did these ridiculous photo shoots. They only had like one. Like they didn't have like a normal like straightforward photo shoot until like halfway through the cycle. There was like one where they were painted head from toe, so they didn't have any clothes on. So they're like, how's that fashion? And then they had like where they're like hanging from a harness, like suspended above and it's like parking garage factory type of thing. And then so these are all like gimmicky. And then they had one where they're like on high wires again, like doing a Matrix like boom, 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 boom. And then they do a music video. And I'm like, what the hell? How are they? And then like on some of those episodes, they're like, it'd be like behind the scenes, like, we got this shot of you. And it was like a behind the scene, like black and white photo from like, we're like, when did that happen? Anyway, that annoyed me about this season too. But also, the thing about this music video dropping in the middle of the season is so painful because I think this is great because when I was looking up the music video on YouTube, someone dropped this comment on one of the videos and said, "Let it be known, Tyra, used the show's budget, the network and the network used the show's budget the network gave her to film a music video for free and start her music." And then the thing that's super cringy is that during the elimination, she has this like tearful, like empathetic thing with the girls. And I want you to play that clip now.
Oh no. Do I have to?
Yes, please play it. It ties it all together.
All right. Here we go with a bunch of bawdy bitches crying. Okay, I'll try that again. Hang on a second. This is so... Oh, there it is.
In my life.
Okay, go back to the beginning. Go back to the
Something
beginning.
that I'm putting myself out there for the world
That's
to
fine.
put me in the
Don't
position
forget
that you all are in now. So who am I to stand here and tell you that you have to leave when I'm starting something where the whole world is going to be criticizing me?
Oh,
And I just
they
want
will
to
be.
thank you all for being part of my dream.
Jesus. Whoa. That was a quick cut again. Wow, what was that? Holy hell.
Can you stop getting distracted and just actually pause it?
I'm trying to, Britt. It's not...
Okay,
Do you want to come over here and do this?
I literally don't have this much problem when I'm dealing with it. I don't know what's going on. Sorry.
Do you understand that I'm working a system to literally transition what you're seeing
But
on that
normally
screen
the clips-
to what will be on the
Are
video?
you hitting play on the actual side highlights? Or are you hitting play on the bar?
Who gives a shit what I'm doing
No,
with this?
normally when you just hit the highlight, it just plays the highlight.
All I know
And
is that
only
a lot
the
of people
highlight.
just saw a naked woman walk across the screen.
That was not naked.
I
That
know
was a
she
girl
wasn't
in a
naked.
swimsuit. Anyway.
Anyway.
So
So
that
what
was
the hell
really
happens here?
So that was really obnoxious. Oh yeah, there's another racial thing in Cycle 2 that's really annoying. And you saw the girl there, the girl who actually ended up winning.
Mm-hmm. Don't worry, nobody can see this.
Okay. And
I've told you to stop worrying about this. Okay, so go on.
oh, never mind, forget about it. I can't really get a good context to it.
Really?
No, I can't. I'm going to skip over that because we're taking too long on this.
All right.
I had some funny quotes in here, but I don't need to do that. Because it's like I said, it's taking way too long. Cycle 3, they open the episode with like this is what you're gonna see on America's Next Top Model, and it's like cat fights, beauty, and tears, and it's like Cycle 3 is where it becomes self-aware, where it realizes like this is what people are tuning in for. Cat fights, beauty, and tears, right?
I mean, it has all the good makings of a drama.
But
Stupid drama, but drama nonetheless.
But like I said, this is where, well, it's reality TV. So they want the trashy part of it.
Oh boy, do they.
So, and this, like I said, I already talked about it. I already touched base on that. Like, this is where like the real Tyra worshipping begins. This is the transformation from Jay Alexander to Miss J, which you will see a little bit in this next clip. But I
gotta find it first here.
It's the fourth clip.
All right.
Or it's the final clip, I mean, yeah. Don't play it now. I'm
Well,
not
look,
done.
if it plays, the sound is off, so nobody's going to hear us anyway, so relax. And plus, this thing is not exactly what I call user
I told you to hit the play on the actual highlights. If you look in the corner
All
there,
right,
when
all
you
right,
hit that,
okay. So this.
Yes.
Okay, cool. That's good. Hang on.
And it will only play that highlight. If you hit play on that, it will continue to play the whole thing.
Okay, once again, I am dealing with about 12 different systems here, and you're giving me shit.
You want to fight with me, boy?
I will put you through that wall. Sit your ass down.
That's it. I quit.
Well, that was embarrassing. I mean...
That was me
That was
making
embarrassing.
fun of the show.
No, that was you just embarrassing yourself.
No,
Oh.
I'm playing it up because of the thing. You're embarrassing. I'm the one that's playing over here. You're being real. You're being
I have
real.
to deal with this.
Shut up, you little bitch. Okay. Whatever. Just play the last clip. We're done.
No.
I was just gonna say another thing that's Tyra about it is because I didn't realize that Tyra was the one that's like, well, I'm calling J. Alexander, runway model extravaganza, like diva queen, and I call him Miss J, and then we have blah 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 blah, and I call him Mr. J. So I realized that those names were given to them. So, and I thought that was really interesting because like I kind of see a face off of J. Alexander going, all right, I'm doing this now, I guess, kind of a thing. And like, okay, to be fair,
I want to make money.
And to be fair, it must have caught on and became endearing because, like I said, in the very beginning, he's very serious and stoic in the first cycle. And I'm not saying he doesn't really have the personality that he portrays on the show, but like the fact that he was given that name was like, oh, I didn't know that's where Miss J came from. And then like, because he becomes a really big deal about the show, like a lot of the humor about the show.
Okay.
But obviously they like it because to this day they've adopted those names now. Miss and Mr. J.
Do you like it, or is it it's just filling their pockets?
It was a launching off point as far as, I don't know. There's still a lot, because there's so much history in the show. I guess Mr. J had a falling out with Tyra Banks. They don't work together anymore, even though he's her makeup artist for years.
So how does Mr. J tie to this?
What?
How does Mr. J tie to this exactly?
Because there happen to be 2 J's on the show.
Oh, okay. So can we'll move on to this video here?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm talking to you, but you're not listening to me.
No, I'm listening. I just want to know how Mr. J ties into this clip specifically.
It doesn't. I was just saying that was another part of Cycle 3 that was like, that was the first time they'd introduced that as that. Well, if people who know the show, who are listening to this, know what I'm talking about.
Who the hell wants to know this show? Well, you know what? It's not unpleasant to look at. I will say that.
So anyway, Cycle 3 was finally like in any reality competition show tradition, you're always going to then have like, now, to be fair, America's Next Top Model doesn't focus on like early audition, like embarrassing moments like something like American Idol would. American Idol's like known for that shit. Like people love watching those early auditions.
It's the reason you tuned in. You didn't give a shit about it after
America's
the auditions.
Next Top Model goes through those preliminary auditions super quickly, but it wasn't until Cycle 3 where they have like, where it brought out like the weirdos and the trolls. So I just wanted to show you this clip just to show you. And that's it. And then we'll finish on that. That's all I got. That's all I got.
All right. Oh, look at her go.
Why do you want to be a model? People tell me I'm beautiful on a daily basis. I'm used to being like the prettiest one at my school. They call me Supermodel Barbie because of the way I talk and the way I present myself.
I love my nose. My nose is big and beautiful. I can smell things that people cannot smell.
Ew!
I don't know. I just don't think this is like right for me. I don't want to do it. I want to go home. Like I can't take the pressure of it.
But don't you think any job interview...
She's such a total troll. Because
what the fuck was going on there?
You know that girl came in as a joke. That she was such a troll. And that's probably why they're reacting. I was like, that girl, that she was not taking it seriously. And I love it because that girl's audition literally summarizes like an arc that they at least have one girl take on each cycle so far. Like that's a theme of like a girl's, because like that's just, it's like they are characters on a show. They gotta have an arc to them, and that's always one. And that girl did it like in a quick 1 minute audition where it's like, I'm beautiful and I'm told that, but you know what? I don't think I want this. This is too much pressure. So that's what that shows me. So that girl's just totally
she had
trolling.
to be she's
totally just trolling like what the show was about, and that was one of the character arcs to kind of make fun of for sure. And so I just thought that was so meta.
That's probably the best moment. That's the one moment of the show I think I've enjoyed more than any, except for this one.
Oh yeah,
because
I got this for you.
This, and let me just say,
I don't want to do
well,
that.
you can, but I mean it won't be on the screen.
But
Shut up! Oh God, look at her ears.
This is Josh's by request. This is Josh's favorite moment that he happened to see while I was watching.
I happened to walk in on Brittany watching this show. I felt a little betrayed that she wasn't watching something else like I'd told her to watch, like Desperate Housewives. Ladies.
I've been watching that.
But I walked in this and I couldn't stop laughing after about 2 minutes of this. For all the guys out there and for anybody with any semblance of a mind.
Can I just say one thing?
Any man or woman. Sorry, excuse me, I hit the wrong thing there.
Mind.
No, literally, what's your thing?
Well,
I just
here's
hit
the
wrong
other thing
there.
is like the cycle 2 like exposes itself for like being a reality show and like takes you out of like it actually being reality. Because very early on, like the first girl that has like a tantrum or a breakdown, a girl is seen like, you know how they always do like the after the episode or after this, that they have like the little interviews like yeah, this girl, like the commentary, the narration that goes on with between the girls. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
right?
I know what you're talking about.
Kind of like The Office.
Yeah.
How they sit in a room and
Yes.
tell the camera.
Yes, I understand how a reality show works.
Okay, anyway.
Come on.
So one of the girls is like, yeah, well, you know what? Katie told me that she can cry at the drop of a hat, so I don't believe these tears. So it's like for the rest of the show, I'm like, okay, all these girls are faking their tears, and I'm like,
and then we get this.
and
moment.
I'm like, the show totally docks itself. Like I'm like, it totally.
Why would
like,
you do that and then have a moment like this?
Yes, exactly.
And ladies and gentlemen, for your viewing pleasure, let's
was
watch
meta.
that
It was a
fucking
meta
moment, shall we?
moment.
Let's watch that moment together because this is absolutely hilarious.
Ridiculous.
And being honest. I'm just gonna give you guys this piece of paper, okay?
Can we get that full screen?
And
We
let's
can.
just talk about rejection, because that's what some of you are gonna have to deal with, rejection. You know how it feels. How many of you have ever had a boyfriend that broke up with you? A daddy that left you. Imagine that.
I do want to make the point that I love that like the two girls there with like the most like faces, like girlfriend, a boyfriend that left you. He didn't leave me. I left him. They had that kind of look in their eyes. Really pissed me off just in this. Imagine that this is a Dear John letter. Okay. How about a John Deere letter? Am I right, ladies?
I have a John Deere hat over there sitting on the ground.
That is a Dear John letter.
From your father.
From whoever that person is that you felt rejected you and left you. Look at it. You see the emotions that's coming up?
It's like
No, because it's a blank fucking page.
Come on,
weird
just
because
let
you're looking
it
at a blank
ride.
piece of paper, but it has so much on it.
Come on, man.
Let it ride. Let it ride.
It's a blank
Let it
page. But
ride for
hold
a
on.
moment.
I love the fact that she's like, it's a blank page, but it has so much on it.
Like, yeah.
Does
like,
it?
Basically, it's the same lines
Literal-
like, your
No.
silence speaks volumes.
Your silence speaks volume. Your silence speaks more than words ever could.
Emotions to me are uncontrollable. When I open myself up to them, there are tears immediately, and it's like,
Really?
Look at it.
Couldn't explain it, by the way.
Now I want you to rip that piece of paper up in little teeny pieces. Rip it up, rip it up, rip it up. Stop. Now all of you right
Quickly, just because this is my favorite thing. I just really, really quickly want to go back. Let's just pay attention to the girl in the foreground in the blue hoodie.
Look at
The
it.
winner, she won.
Oh, she won, did she?
Rip that
won the whole
piece of
cycle.
Oh,
paper
watch.
up
Watch this
in
performance.
little teeny pieces. Rip it up, rip it up, rip it up. Stop. Now all of you right.
Okay,
Okay, you know what?
That's enough of that
Okay,
shit.
can I just
Oof.
say, you know what another thing I think's funny is because I think I watched Cycle 2's like after the runway or something. The girl and the blonde. So actually what they're doing, I think, is like potentially developing actors for like UPN, which was a channel which was a channel that was first on.
Oh, I thought it was a
So
delivery
she-
company.
Anyway, so Katie actually is like auditioning for UPN shows after this season.
Ah, okay.
So like that's like where they're getting like the professionals in the industry from too. And so that's why it's like low expectations of like their acting abilities
and
because
low energy.
Because yeah, it's just
Yeah, it's. Go on. You show us it. I knew there was a reason I left you a piece of paper over there. Oh, hold on.
my dad.
Man.
I've been rejected and tossed to the side. But you know what? I will become America's Next Top Model.
That doesn't even make sense.
Oh boy. Oh, thank you, Brittany, for enlightening us with that absolute horrid show. Wow. I feel like I need to take a bath after that. Not just because it's Arizona and hot as balls in here, but I do have a few little videos of my own, Brittany. But thank you very
Thanks
much
for
for
holding on tight, folks, with our. But now you know in the future, you hit the highlight play.
That's not the issue. The issue is I am working another system
I think
in order
you're
to
a big
transition.
dummy.
I would like to see you set any of this up. Any of this. You
All right,
couldn't
stop.
even. You couldn't
Stop,
even get the
stop,
computer display to
stop,
work.
Stop.
Exactly.
Stop.
Exactly.
Stop.
Exactly.
Stop.
Stop it! You're proving me right. You're proving yourself right and me wrong, and I don't want to do it anymore because you make me look like an idiot.
Stop eating the paper. That just really makes you look like a lunatic. We are going to leave here very quickly, but I did find a couple of great little videos. Brittany, you haven't seen any of these yet. I like to keep these away from Brit for a certain amount of time. And, okay, ew. Oh, you really are. You really are disgusting. I keep hitting that fucking thing. Can I lock that? I can lock that. Oh, okay. Now, you see, I'm learning things on the fly. So if there was a little blip in
Sorry, I
your...
would have disappeared for a second because I realized I...
No, you need to stay in for these videos.
No, I'm staying here. I'm just...
All right.
I dropped my paper.
This first one here, if you can see it, this is something you're going to enjoy. It's something I enjoy. It involves cats and girls getting hurt. So let's watch this.
I don't enjoy cats or people getting hurt. I hate that.
Isn't that just the happiest little cat? Look at him go.
She broke her neck.
I did not break anybody's neck. Nobody. No kittens or anything were
Can you
hurt.
imagine taking that tumble at like the age of like 31 though? You would have broke your neck and been in the hospital.
You probably would be a little bit hurt. Yes.
You were like so like invincible at that age. Like I can't even tell you like there are times where I landed straight on my fucking neck when I was like, oh, talking about landing on your neck.
Talk about landing on your neck. Here we have
Jesus.
The man formerly known as Spider, and of course he's just been downgraded to man. And you're gonna see exactly what I mean here. Exactly
he's the Christopher Reeves of Spider-Man now.
Well, I guess we can guess what kind of a party he's at. It was a birthday party. What kind of party do you think I was talking about? Here he is. Oh, that thump. Can we play that again, Johnny? I don't know why I find that so goddamn funny. He just leaves himself out. I love the tweet as well, by the way. I am never hiring Spider-Man again. Fucked up my nephew's whole party.
Where did he get this guy from? Like, did he get him? Was this Spider-Man one of the?
Yeah, get it out faster. Come on.
I can't remember the term. What's it called when someone's like a backup for somebody else in a play?
An understudy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was this guy an understudy for the Spider-Man musical? That's what I was trying to say. Do you remember the Spider-Man musical?
Oh. Wait, didn't somebody die during that?
Yes, like 3 people died like in like the rehearsal process of that production.
Ah, that's great. That's fantastic.
And
this is the final one.
But I think you missed it. I did say he's the Christopher Reeves of Spider-Man.
Oh well, yeah, okay. I'll give you that one. That's not bad. Not bad. And this is the final one. The gentleman at the top of the stairs. A gentle treat, and I love this man, and I think this is hilarious.
Okay.
Can we not talk while I'm standing here and you standing down there?
Listen, dude.
You listen. I just need you to turn. No doubt. If you keep walking up.
Listen, motherfucker. I ain't trying to fucking fight you.
All right, bro, then go downstairs.
No, fucking shake my head.
Can we not talk while I'm standing here and you standing down there?
Listen, dude.
You listen. I just need you to turn. No doubt.
It's just great. It's just great. How? It's like I got the high ground.
All right, bro, then go downstairs.
No, fucking shake my head.
Yeah, watch his face here. By the way, watch the big dude's face here at the top of the stairs. Watch the face he makes when he says "motherfucker." Right? Just watch the guy's face.
Listen, motherfucker. I ain't trying to.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Oh, the man. Look, I have no idea what this fight is going on. But I know the big guy, he did the right damn thing. That's all I can say. He did the right thing.
Absolutely not. Do you realize that guy could be... He fell down a cement staircase. He could be down on the ground seizing right now with blood coming out of the back of his skull.
I don't care. I literally don't care. He got what he had coming to him for being a dick.
You treat these kind of things like they're like you're watching a Looney Tunes episode.
Because it kind of is a Looney Tunes episode.
This is not cartoon violence. Like that shit does not tickle.
This is real tune violence.
This doesn't tickle my fancy as much as you. Like,
I just think it's hilarious.
Stuff, and I'm just horrified.
All right. And on that note, we are going to end the show. We didn't get around to, unfortunately, the news about Robert De Niro, but stay tuned for that one. I gotta make my alimony.
That's all you gotta know.
I'll take any job.
Story's done.
I'll take any job.
There you got the story's
Any job.
out. You did it.
I gotta pay that bitch of a wife.
You got it. You already did it.
I gotta do it.
Yeah, you're done.
I'm not
now.
happy. I'm not happy. This day I am not happy. And that's basically the story, yes.
Yeah, I think you got it. You
a one-man
nailed it.
play. Next week, Al Pacino. Yeah. Let me tell you about my wives. This is why I never got married. So I got wigs, big lips, loose shoes. Thank you. And we are going to get the hell out of here because I have to piss like a motherfucker. All right. Thank you very much for watching the show. Brittany, thank you for collaborating, and thanks for your patience, kindness, and understanding while I get used to a new live system. Oh boy, that was fun. But thank... Hey, look, she is funny. I think she may be more of a physical comedian.
No, there's a great scene of them like having snot dripping out of their nose, and one of the other actors.
Gross. Ew. Ew. All right, folks, we're going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time. West of Waterford Podcast. Good night. Goodbye.
Take care. Bye.
Fade out faster, you bastard!